So, who would win a one-on-one, or 1v1 rather? LeBron or Jokic if they played each other when they both were in their primes? Because obviously LeBron is not in his prime anymore. you know, I know he's still great, at 40 years old, but he's not in his prime. And that's no disrespect to LeBron, but I was just randomly thinking, and I was like, obviously Jokic, is clearly in his prime right now. And we know Jokic can do a little bit of everything really well, too. like, he's a really, really good passer. He's a really good rebounder. And although scoring is not his main focus, which is kind of crazy to say, but even though he doesn't, necessarily put up 30 points per game, because again, he likes to pass first, Jokic can still average 30 if he really wanted to. So, LeBron in his prime, of course, 30 points per game easily as well, like in his sleep. LeBron is a very good passer too, as we know. LeBron, his career assists, I don't believe are, as high as Jokic's is. But part of that has to do with personnel, who you play with and stuff like that. And although when LeBron was on an A team, they always ran everything through him. I don't know. I just think Jokic's assists per game, for his career are probably higher, but it's not like it's like super far off. And LeBron, I would say, is not as good of a rebounder as Jokic is, but he can still grab 8 rebounds a night, in his prime if he really wanted to. So, there's no right or wrong answer. It was just something that popped in my head, but I thought it'd be a fun kind of little debate. I don't usually do these kind of things, like this player versus this player. Like, that's not really my style. But I was just like, if LeBron in his prime, whichever version of LeBron you pick, some people think the Miami LeBron is the best LeBron ever. Some people think the 2018 LeBron in Cleveland is the best LeBron ever. Whichever LeBron you think is the best, that's up for debate. Versus whichever version of Jokic you think is the best, which would be, anywhere from like 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, whichever one you pick. So if they played each other one-on-one in their primes, who wins? I feel like that's a really interesting debate because, again, they do a lot of, well, the passing wouldn't matter because there's nobody to pass to. It's a one-on-one. So that advantage for both of them is kind of out the window, when they're playing one-on-one. So it would really be more about scoring, I guess, in that aspect. And the thing is, LeBron, we know, especially in his prime, could get to the basket whenever he wanted. Like, as soon as he's going downhill, there's nothing you can do to stop him. And there's nothing that Jokic, could probably do to stop him either. Like, he's just that good at driving to the basket. But at the same time, Jokic has such great footwork and he's so skilled. Like, he doesn't have to, have so much force and drive to the basket the way LeBron does to get a shot off. Jokic has that crazy floater. The touch he has is crazy. So he can just shoot it over LeBron. And obviously they both can shoot the three. So that's, in discussion too. But I'm just saying, like, they don't necessarily play the same, but they both have advantages that I feel like the other person would have trouble guarding because, again, Jokic he's not a bad defender, but he's not like a premier defender, right? And again, LeBron coming at you full speed at, 29, however, 30 years old in his prime, 260 pounds, and as strong as he is, he could get, even when you grabbed him, for a foul to stop him from getting the layup, a lot of the times he would get the layup up anyway. Like, he would get it in. Like, that's how strong he is. So, um, so LeBron could get his shot off, even if Jokic tried to foul him, you know? And again, oppositely, Jokic will just use his footwork to, do his little floaters and stuff like that. So if LeBron and Jokic were playing one-on-one and they were playing to 10, whoever gets to 10 points first, we'll say each basket counts for one, I guess. I don't know. I'm just making this up in my head. Unless you want to do it regularly, where if you shoot a 3, counts for 3, but I don't know. I feel like that's, because if someone's hot from 3, is that really fair? Whatever. Anyway, whichever way you do it, it's not really the point. My only, kind of question for you guys is, who wins one-on-one in their prime? LeBron or Jokic? And I don't really know the answer, to be honest. They're both great. Like I said, they both have their advantages. It's really hard to pick who would win. Because, again, we're talking about 2 MVP, not just caliber, but literal MVP. Literal champions. Players who were, LeBron was called the best player in the league for a while. Jokic has been called the best player in the league. So, who wins that matchup? I don't know the answer, and I feel like that's, I'm not trying to, start a worldwide debate. I guess, I'm not trying to do that. Do anything crazy. I'm just saying it just popped in my head, and I was like, it's kind of interesting. LeBron versus Jokic. So, let me know what you guys think, and thank you guys so much for watching this live stream. I hope you enjoyed.